Hello, I'm playing my Ashcon match versus Ferellia. This is my third match of the Ashcon tournament, I guess we'd call it. So I'm playing Aradel versus Noah, and he starts off here with a summon Ghostly Mount. Now, knowing that Noah's ability is to exhaust playbooks, I went ahead and threw out the Frostback Bear book. I shouldn't have done that. I think I should have went with the um, Lightbringer book first to see if he would exhaust that one. But with all those illusion dice, I didn't want him to burn down my nature power dice, so I just want to get that on the board real quick. I had to meditate Final Cry and Immortal Commander to start getting my dice ready. I should have meditated, I think, 2 more at this stage. I'll meditate later. Pass it back over to Ferellia. Now, I like the Ghostly Mounts, but because they give you some variety. They played Changing Winds and drew 2 cards. And they went ahead and exhausted Noah in order to exhaust my Frostback Bear. So here I am meditating again because I realized I didn't meditate enough. I take that back. I guess I didn't end up meditating. I played Raptor Herder here. And then for side action, again, kind of worried about those illusion dice up there. So I don't want anything to be rolled down. So I go ahead and play out my Immortal Commander. And then pass back to Ferellia. Here comes Anchor Knot, which takes care of my Raptor hatchling, so that allows me to play out my 2 Sleeping Widows. And then he brings out the 2/4, the more defensive Ghostly Mount. And then side action here plays out the Summon Mass Wolf book. I'm a little too cautious here. Nope, not this time. This time I'll go ahead and attack. Later, I think I was a little too cautious at times, and it allows him to remove some of my conjurations since there's only 1 health. I should with his Anchor Knots. So I made some mistakes there, but that's for later in the game. So a Raptor Herder and 1 hatchling makes it through. The other is countered with the Ghostly Mount, so the Mount has 3 damage on it, and the Widow is dead. But now I'm out of cards. So he's going to go ahead and bring a Masked Wolf into play. And puts 2 damage to the face of Aradel. Passes back to me here. Since the Frostback Bear book is out of commission, I have a lot of dice to spare. And I know there's nothing that the Lightbringer is really going to do for me here, but I wouldn't mind having an extra blocker. So I go ahead and bring out the Lightbringer just in case I need something to block some damage. Oh, first I Water Blast and go ahead and kill off the Ghostly Mount. Now that did put the Anchor Knot back in his hand, which is, yeah, it'll end up being a mistake here, but even though the Pale Seed is off the board, he has 1 dice and an Anchor Knot. but Ferellia ended up passing the main action. So with that, I go ahead and take that opportunity just to go ahead and attempt to take out the wolf to maintain board presence and board domination. And he blocks with Noah. Checking my discard for potentially bringing cards back. And this is where he brings out the Anchor Knot and kills my other widow. So I pass my main action. I don't really think I need to or want to meditate up and kill off his Anchor Knot, because that would take 2 actions. If I had a neutral dice, I probably would go ahead and ping his Anchor Knot just to get it in the discard. If you notice, he has 0 cards in the discard at this point. So that ends round 1. And on to round 2. So I get 2 chain creations, which help immensely by killing off his units and exhausting his board, and a blood chains, which could, if he played a big unit, allow me to exhaust. Also got a summon Gilder in that, which allows me to help ping, and another Rafter Herder. So pretty decent draw, I think, for this setup. Trying to exhaust the Wolves book additionally, and the Ghostly Mount. Because if I can exhaust out both of those, then that kind of eliminates them for 2 rounds. So we can go ahead and, or Ferellia goes ahead and plays Summon Ghostly Mount, but this time he plays the more aggressive 4/2. And then he attacks Immortal Commander. And since I have some black dice, some ceremonial, I am okay with that going away without putting any damage on Aradel. Because like I said, I could take that damage, 1 damage, to bring him back later, as opposed to taking 4 damage to the face of Aradel. So before he has a chance to exhaust my book, I go ahead and bring out Bear. And then I believe I meditate my dice here to get them all ready. So that way I can Water Blast, bring out a Gilder, and a Rafter. I go ahead and do 1 more in case I need to bring back the Immortal Commander. And I got rid of Hammer Knight, Massive Growth, and Blood Chains out of that. So he's attacking Aradel with the Wolf, and I'll just go ahead and use the... I'm trying to use the Lightbringer, and for some reason that doesn't... I don't know what I did here. I chose Lightbringer to block, and it didn't, and Aradel took that damage. So I'm not sure what happened there, because it even says Vitrius chose Defenders, so unsure there. So as it stands, Noah has 6 damage on him and Aradel has 4. Then he uses Changing Winds to draw 1 card. And changes a nature dice to the power symbol. It passes back to me. This is where I use the change creations to kill and exhaust his Ghostly Mount. So now it's not only exhausted for this round, but will be exhausted for next round as well. And if his Ghostly Mount's his main way of getting units to the board, I've just locked it down for 2 rounds. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. I think that puts me in good position. because I can, with 3 books on board, 2 unexhausted, and a Raptor Herder in my hand, I can flood the board relatively quick, I think. So we go ahead and meditates. He has some pretty big meditates that, good cards. Battle Seer and River Scald here. I don't know what all is in hand. There's a lot of cards in hand, but I'd like to see that hand. So Shared Sorrow, Battle Seer, and River Scald. And then plays a Battle Seer. So with that Battle Seer being a threat, with its alert and quick strike ability, I'm kind of, and 4 health, I can't just Water Blast it going. So I'm just going to prepare to swing around. Go wide and swing wide. So I'll have an option to use the Chain Creations or Immortal Commander, not both, one of the two, and then I still have 2 nature dice, one for the Lightbringer, if need be, if I don't play Immortal Commander, and one for Gilder. But I play Immortal Commander because he's probably one of my favorite cards. And then here comes a Gilder, and I get to send a damage out. Now I put it on the Battle Seer because if I use Immortal Commander, that's lethal on the Battle Seer. So he won't use the Battle Seer to block the Frostbite Bear unless he wants the Battle Seer to die. Now he pops out a hollow on his end, which rolls my power dice down to a leaf. And then he brings out another Masked Wolf. Now here I have 4 attacking units compared to his. I have 5 attacking units compared to his 4 blocking units. So I'm just going to send everybody with Immortal Commander to beef them all up by 1, and then allow him to figure out who blocks who. Now we have some, I think he clicks done too soon on here, so we end up dropping into manual mode and trying to sort it all out. So what it comes down to is a hollow is blocking Raptor Herder. He's going to have Battle Seer, I believe, block Lightbringer, and then he's going to allow Bear and Gilder to go through. And so end result is he'll have 10 damage on him. So we talk it out, and it takes a few minutes here to sort it all. But I think getting 4 damage on at that stage, I thought that was a pretty good exchange. So here I'm still not completely familiar with Azteki. I've only really been using it through the carousel and through Ashcon. I really like it, but just trying to follow some of the prompts. It does make it play faster, but when we have an error, it was a little slow to fix, just from my inexperience. So here we're discussing what needs to happen. Now at this stage, at the end of this, Airedale will have 5 damage on him, and Noah will have 10 total. So that, with the Ghostly Mount being exhausted through the rest of this round, at this point, I'm feeling pretty good about things, but you know, things can switch pretty rapidly in this game. Okay, here we're exiting manual mode, and you kind of see all the damage or the changes that's taken place there. And we resume play. He plays another copy of Summon Ghostly Mount, which I was like, oh, that one kind of hurt. So I went ahead and just destroyed the Battle Seer with my last nature dice, even though he pinged it down with a hollow earlier, or rolled it down with a hollow. I went ahead and used Aerodel's ability just to get rid of it. So here we both pass, and we are looking at round 3. Looking at my 2 cards to discard here, and I believe I decide to keep both of them this round. And then I pick up a Fester, a Sleeping Widows, and a Sympathy Pain. Now, Sympathy Pain is going to be useful to deal 2 damage direct. I go to counter, but I forget his Quick Strike, so that didn't really matter. But that allowed me to play out my Widows. Now we're doing the math here because he calls for that, asking if that's game. It's not. Here I should not have blasted the mount at all. It's exhausted, it's out of play. And that puts an Anchor Knot back into his hand. I should have taken out the wolf, which is the attacking unit. Now, if he didn't play another unit, that would have been fatal. Sending 7 damage in. But I water blast the mount charger. And here comes the Anchor Knot, which removes a Sleeping Widow. So that was a bad play on my end. That opened it up for him to get a unit and remove a unit. So he went ahead and exhausted Frostbite Bear, which I don't know why I passed main action last turn. I should have brought out the bear. And water blasted the wolf. So there's 2 mistakes. Oh, I think I didn't have the dice to bring out the bear. I think that's why. So I went ahead and meditated 3 up the Hammer Knight, the 2 chokes I lost. So I bring out a Gilder, and I go ahead and send 1 damage over to the wolf, killing it. He's meditating up some illusion dice, so I'm thinking possibly getting to another Battle Seer. And plays a hollow. Which allows him to roll down probably my 2 power dice there. The ones I just meditated up. So back to me, I'm going back to meditating again. Because I don't necessarily need the divine dice, but I do need the Sympathy Pain dice turned on. And I need, Water Blast is already done, Gilder is already done. There's no reason to meditate at that power dice other than just sending 1 damage over using the powered nature power. So I'll bring out a Lightbringer, force an attack, just try and get rid of his blockers so I can swing in for the final damage, but without 2 spiders out there, and 0 attack Gilders. That's very minimal damage I'm doing. Now again, actually made a mistake with the Frostbite Bear earlier. I should have blocked with the Gilder instead of trying to counter with the bear. But again, that is due to me forgetting about Quick Strike, but also just a dumb play. So I am going to play Sympathy Pain after he's put some damage through to Aerodel. Get him up to 12, so he only has 4 damage left. Aerodel's still sitting at having 9 health left. So I just gotta swing through for 4. Right now I cannot do that. So I use my nature dice to take out the hollow. Fester's not useful to me there. His other cards are already exhausted, so playing Change Creations isn't a huge thing. You know, I would just further exhaust the wolf, but I'd rather exhaust the spectral mounts. So I pass my main action. Now right now on board I have 2 damage on the, if I use Mortal Commander, 2 damage on Lightbringer, 1 damage on each of the Guilders, and 3 damage on the Widows. So if he doesn't play anything here, I could assume that he's going to block the Widows, and then 4 damage is going to get through. So he meditates, and all he needs to do is play a ally out of his hand since his books are exhausted. And he kind of stops my plans there. So he meditates 4 dice to get a lot of power symbols, and then plays Guilt Link. So he didn't have any allies in hand, evidently. Passes it to me, and so there I use my command ability. I want to attack and send everybody at Noah. Like I said, he'll block the Widows, and with the command ability, 4 damage makes it through, and that's enough for Noah. And here's just a matter of clicking a few buttons. Alright, and that's it. So, good game to Ferellia, and see you all later.